Hi, I'm Munkey, vocals.
I'm Jazzy, I play rhythm guitars.
I'm Joe, I play guitar.
I'm Matt 7 and I do bass.
I'm Chippy and I'm the drummer.
And we are
By My Heartache!
Shut your mouth! Broken inside! All I am!
Do you want to start?
yeah, that was myself and Chippy. We started the band, over
2018.
May
May 2018 was when I first bought the drum kit round.
Yeah.
We started touring around with ideas, and then it was the October that Matt came in, and the band name itself came from a lot of heartache and a lot of breakups and a lot of
things we were trying to write about at the time.
Yeah. It was a way to channel what we had, and Buried by My Heartache just relates being in that low place.
Yeah, I'll go with that. So the title of the EP that we've just released is called Heart-Shaped Grenades. I was trying to come up with a title idea. It was something that reflected the body of work that we were doing for the project. And I pitched the idea to the guys that we call it Heart-Shaped Grenades because I felt like each song was an explosion of our emotions, what we put into the songs and what we were writing at the time. So that's how we come up with the idea, really. And I pitched it to the guys and they all liked it. I mean, that's the name that stuck.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Heart-Shaped Grenades.
Heart-Shaped Grenades.
Heart-Shaped Grenades.
Buy it.
On Spotify, get him out.
Available on all digital media, let's be honest.
Yeah,
everywhere.
My name!
The lyrics are, again, from the heart and experience and what you go through life within the band, outside the band, relationships, and that kind of thing, really, isn't it?
It's a collective effort as well. We
Yeah.
write together, so we've all had influence in the songs. It's all come from parts of our lives, stuff that we've been through, situations, yeah.
Absolutely,
There's a
yeah.
passion, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, they're all relatable situations.
There's a lot of truth in the lyrics.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
They're all timeless as well, like so it's all relatable to everybody out there as well.
very relatable.
I think
very
as well-
human.
Yes, definitely. And I think as well, it's like even if some a line or a passage that we talk about or sing about may mean one thing to us guys, but then messages not necessarily mean that it could mean something different to somebody else, and it could resonate. Hopefully, they are resonating
I
with
had that
people.
with Temptation actually.
Did you?
Yeah. Different people come back to me and say, "Oh, I can really relate to this song because this time of my life."
Absolutely.
It's different to what we really about, but to them, it's very personal.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. And then hopefully, I think that's what message comes across for to people that listen to our music.
Days about me! Rain! Power jam me! Escape!
Album cover art was basically, again, it was a collective of all of us really putting our ideas forward, especially from yourself as well with Jazz and wanting, having the heart-shaped grenades as the title, yeah. It's been back to and a bit to and fro in and just putting ideas together and then coming up with what we've got today.
I wanted to incorporate the visual effect of what the words are, so having the heart grenade to just throw the songs out and explode the emotion.
I think
And our genius frontman come up with the concept. and
Yeah,
message.
I think what makes it a bit more personal is like Joe just said, because we've made it, we haven't shipped off to someone else and gone, right, this is what we want.
Yeah.
We've all put little bits in and we've all said, okay, we want this here, that, there. Monkeys.
Heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
That's what makes it a lot more
I feel
personal.
that.
It's ours rather than, third parties going, okay, here's the design, we're just going,
Yeah.
So it's a lot more personal as well.
It is, yeah, it is definitely right. I think because we've done it that way, it's our work rather than
Put a lot of work
somebody
into
else's. Yeah.
every aspect of what we're trying to put out.
And I'm so honoured that I've got a chance to actually be able to put that on that, on air media for us to, to show people.
Glad this guy's got all the technical.
Express artwork as well, so that's brilliant.
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it is quite important because you get the right backing, you get the right pushing, you get the funding, you get the total outburst of not just progressing within your area, but then I think it helps having a backing label to then progress overseas as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one of the things that it's all right saying a lot of the bands that are out there that are self pushing themselves things, but again, it's always money involved.
Absolutely.
You've got to have that money backing behind it.
Absolutely, it's having that backing.
You need the money to travel, and you need the money for food, beer, provisions.
Yeah, that's
You need that. You can't do without it.
As well, like having a label would benefit in a way if they've got all the contacts. Whereas we're pushing ourselves, but obviously we're making our own inroads through meeting people and playing their bands.
I mean, me personally, I think it's great that we are doing it ourselves because we can put our heart and soul into it. But as you say, there's also the struggle of if you are independent, you don't know who you can go to, who you can talk
It's
to.
got that major advisory label.
Yeah, whereas
contacts
if,
and they've got the experience.
exactly. Whereas if we label, they can go right, we can recommend this recording studio, we can recommend this photographer, this people do PR. So there's kind of pros and cons of both. But I think ultimately, if you want to get somewhere, you do need that label, don't you?
Someone also said before, I believe it's Phil Anselmo from Pantera, he said basically labels are mechanics, they have tentacles that feel out for you and make things happen, get you on the magazines, and I respect that because it might not be so much true nowadays because it's more independent, but you still have to be on them platforms as well. So it's very important to be on a label, absolutely, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So basically, our whole 2020 went out the window. We had
we had
the full diary plan and everything. Back to the bands, local festival we were on, and we had a couple of local shows, and then a few back to the bands, and then basically each and every venue and all the bands that were doing the headline slots were coming to us and going, sorry guys, we're cancelling, sorry that's cancelled, sorry that's postponed, and we were just like.
I think we had a gig basically like 2-3 gigs a month. I think pretty much getting that way.
Yeah.
All the way leading up to summer.
Yeah. So we are trying to push ourselves out there, but it's just with everything going on, it's so hard.
You've got to respect the decisions of venues.
Oh, you do.
We obviously think of everybody else's health and safety as well with the current pandemic.
It
is deflating as well to have all that work to do cancelled. You're always pushing uphill.
Well, because we had all these plans, didn't we? All these shows we had planned. We were going to debut this song, we were going to do that. We were just essentially going to debut who we are because before 2020 we played one local show which we had a massive response to. Everybody really enjoyed us and really liked what we did. We were ready to push it out there, and then pandemic happened, and obviously as much as we understand the decisions that were made and we highly respect the decisions that were made, again it just went completely
true.
One positive to come out of it, I think, was the fact that it gave us time to write and hone our craft a bit more.
I think we've definitely progressed in our discipline as well, and also our chemistry, what we have with it, because we've stuck true to our practices, and I think it's definitely progressed.
Basically, with the panda bear that just happened and that.
Panda bear!
Basically, it just brought us together and made us stronger and made us more united as a group and all that. And we had to network harder with other people to get to where we are today. So, as much as it sucks, we are lucky to be alive, and we're grateful for the people that helped us to get through this hard time that everyone had to endure, like you said.
We want to come out the other side and everybody else get back to what we love.
Yes, definitely. I think as well, on the other side, on the flip side of it, is that I think we've been quite lucky with having our own band practice room. Not all the bands have got that, so what do you think? Jazzy? Jazzy. So it's ours. We're set up in 24/7. So I think we're helping out. I think I do feel for the other bands that have been out there having to hire. Having to hire at the band rooms.
Especially bands that are I was about to say that are going to studios and stuff and that, and obviously they can't practice now.
Well, yeah, because again, you look on the likes of Instagram, because also I manage the band's Instagram, the amount of posts I see on there, first practice in months and in 12 weeks, like, God, you feel sorry for them, because like I say, we've got the I don't know the best way to say
luxury.
That we've got a local band room that we can all get to.
It's a family home.
All these
It's our church.
But I think going back on what Jazzy was saying as well, that one of the big benefits is, again, based on the feedback we've had from gigs, everybody can't believe how tight we are as a band for how long we've been going. you know, one of the gigs we did recently, we had members from bigger bands coming to us and going, holy crap, that was amazing. You know, how long have you been playing? And we say, oh, we've been practicing non-stop. And they're like, oh God, you sound like you've been going for years. And we're like,
It's actually our second gig. They get really
And we have
surprised
been
when you say
together for a
that.
few years, by the way. We didn't just get together yesterday, we have been together a while, so
Yeah.
just so you know.
Pandemic, only having been able to do a few gigs, people are quite surprised when we tell them, yeah, this is our second.
Yeah.
one of those moments if we are suspended, we'll be going, yeah.
That's right, practice, practice, practice.
Yes, yeah, it pays off.
Absolutely.
Definitely
Practice
pays
because your
off,
fingers
yeah.
bleed, your throat hurts, your feet are aching, just...
Forgive me of my sins.
Oh.
Can I go first?
You
Well,
go
the
first.
last, well, before the Nottingham gig, we had a Spalding gig, our hometown gig, and I sit on a stool, basically a drum stool, because I can't stand up because I have a bad knee at the moment. Anyway, after the first song, I go to sit down, and instantly the stool gives out. I go against the wall. Your turn.
Yeah, I was the last gig we did with the 500. We were first up. We're all getting to the throes of it, cracking out on the first gig, one of our first gigs back, and got halfway through the set. My hair was going around a circle, going for it, banging my heart out. Got blinded by the lights and ended up falling forwards and nearly fell off the front of the stage. Luckily, I mean, sheer luck, there was a monitor in front of me and I managed to catch myself and put my hands down.
Epic save.
Yeah, epic save.
Yeah.
Been the worst time for years. I put my beard down on the slide, and the vibration from the action rocked my beard off. It's going all over my back.
Have a minute for spilled beer, you know. They say don't cry over a spilled milk or spilled beer.
I had to have them in the silence.
There was this one time, it actually came up on my memories on Facebook 10 years ago, October 2011, was the Fenland Battle of the Bands final in my previous band, Hyper Infinity, and we won it. But halfway through the gig, my bass drum kept sliding forward as I was pedalling down, and I stood up, moved it back, I put the microphone back, and there's actually a video of it on YouTube. And my stool was like, one of the pegs was hanging off the back. So as I went to sit down, poof, straight over off the back of the stage, ripped my 3/4, banged my arm. It was a beautiful, nice, lovely scrape. And then carried on with the gig, and in the middle of the video, it comes up with no drummers were heard during the making of this video. Yes! And we still won it. Yeah!
Well done. I think, did you have anything, Matt?
No, unfortunately I've not had enough experience to fall off the stage face first.
It's not fun, I wouldn't recommend it.
The only thing that's ever happened to me is, as you do, halfway through practice, my top string broke and I went, my D string broke, and that's pretty much the only fun experience I've had. Like I say, hopefully these guys are going to get me drunk off my arse so that I walk on stage and
Fall flat,
Challenge accepted.
Just a word of the mic to you guys, no one has ever got me drunk.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a time when quite a few years back, when one of the last bands I was in, we were playing a gig over in Lincoln at Christopher's, and we were all back to studio going. I went to go and get my kit bag from the kit room, and I got in, and all of a sudden I had this clunk click. And I was like, I didn't really pay much attention to it. Going to get my bag, went to the door, and it was closed. It turned out to be a fire escape door that had locked itself. Banging on the door. Trying to open the door. I was like, shit, what's going on? I was going, banging on the door, trying to let me out. It's like, I can't get out anywhere. What else going on? Trying to ring the bandmates, can't get through to anybody. And I saw his fire escape, and I think these metal stairs, and went down to go outside. That was all padlocked up as well. I was like, oh no. And I got back up again, and bang on the door, music's blaring all loud and everything. And I was like, can't get out. And next minute, obviously, the door had opened up, and this guy, little voice, turned around and said, "Oh, it's you banging, is it?" I can't believe it. And eventually, I managed to get back on stage, and everything was alright.
Just be glad it wasn't that embarrassing. Excuse me, sir, this is push, not pull.
Whoops.
I was just testing.
Inside, scream away.
Trivium's in the Court of the Dragon What a phenomenal album. Alex Ben, wow. Crisis of Revelation, the intro to that is it's just mental, and his style and the whole record as a whole, every song is just an absolute banger. Well done.
Chippy.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to a lot of Trivium, like Chip said, but I like a lot of underground bands that are like, you know, from like England and stuff like that. So there's a few bands that I listen to. One's called Bastet, and they've got like a really cool like vibe going on, and another one's called India. Both female fronted, but that's not important. But I really like them sort of underground melodic hard rock bands and stuff, and I really get along with like the people in the band and stuff. I dig it, absolutely.
India's quite cool, isn't it?
India's cool, they're a really cool band. I mean, I'm good friends with the singer, I talk to her quite often on the line.
On the line.
But yeah, other than that, Metallica rules, they're my favourite band of all time.
Yeah, like for myself, it's one fan that's always been stood out for myself was been Shinedown. Although not to their new music, but they just seem to progress themselves and change and evolve with times and the music, and especially. Being a singer, it's big vocals. It's you always tend to. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, you do. You aspire to those singers and singers for me in other bands always seem to grab me, especially like Five and Death Punch and and Kill Switch, and I just kind of look at those. So so Shinedown, Kill Switch. Yeah, definitely.
For me, it's got to be one of the bands we played with recently, man. The 500, their new album, World on Fire.
Yeah, amazing.
Rising Tide.
Yeah. My favourite track is Rising Tide, but I've been banging that album in my car for weeks.
It's brilliant.
It's so good, and when we played with them and hearing it live,
it was absolutely phenomenal.
Their sound is phenomenal.
Sing the chorus, man.
Very nice
Sing the chorus on that Rising Tide. I'm loving it. I was like,
it's just good when they know how to put a live show on. They know how to get the energy in the atmosphere, and when they had all the lights dimmed and they're all stood up and lights come on and they're introducing with them.
They were good to us. They came and spoke to us backstage.
Yeah.
Made sure we were comfortable. They were really cool, man.
They're sound dudes. They really are. So cool.
So 500.
Absolutely.
Keep at it, guys. Keep at it.
And then for me, it's got the Times of Grace latest one. What is it? Songs of Separation and Loss. So anybody who doesn't know what Times of Grace are, it's Adam D and Jazzy from Killswitch. What happened was Adam went into hospital during one of the tour runs with Killswitch. He wrote a bunch of stuff. He basically said, this isn't Killswitch, I can't bring this to Killswitch, they can't bring out what I need. And he said the first person he went to was Jesse Leach, of course, the old vocalist, because at this point they had the legendary Hell Show. Who's now back to the legendary current vocalist. But it's, the clues in the title itself, it's songs about separation and loss, how, and what's great about Jesse is I know a lot of singers say it, but he's singing from experience, so he's singing about his separation, his loss, how he then recovered from it, how he built himself back up, and it's just
how he healed his hurting.
Oh, there you go.
Title drop.
I see what you did there.
We're on to you. But no, it's just great because, like I say, it's just the emotion that Jesse has. I mean,
so can I just put in, you see what happened with that emotion when you see Jesse and Howard coming together on that Sing on Fire. He's literally handing over to them, I kept this really precious for you, here you go, have it back. It was just such a beautiful, the way that their vocals go together, man.
When I see him in the video, proper fangirl, that's
it's like you see him, don't you? You see him nodding at someone off screen and you're like,
yeah.
And then you see the back of Howard's head, you're like, and then he's on stage singing and you're like, oh my God!
He just invites him on, he's like, come have it back. There you go.
Yeah, and it's great with that. I think that's what a load of fans love. It was seeing the two eras of Killswitch side by side singing. And like you say, it's just, Howard, you can't deny, one hell of a vocalist.
Absolutely. What he's done with Sign on the Blade.
Sign on the Blade and Light Torch, his new project. And he's just got that voice, and then Jesse's got his own power of devotion, and then to hear them clash, come together.
Yeah,
it's just you can't do
just
anything
melts,
else.
doesn't it?
Yeah, and they accommodate each other so well. You got
They need to do an album together, definitely.
Two powerhouses, definitely.
Absolutely,
Two powerhouses.
yeah.
I mean,
They're both low-end vocals that are just insane as well.
Yeah.
Their vocal range to go from the highest to the low, both of them are
Oh,
just
yeah.
phenomenal.
Well, that's it. It's, again, with myself being a series, it's that's what what we're inspired to. Especially for myself and Jazz. With the two singers. So
Nothing happened.
We do. What happened there? I think it was my phone. So
I mean-
I'll edit that out in post.
Now you've got great vocal ranges, both of you. So it's amazing that you get the inspiration from the big dogs, and hopefully one day we will be like
Not hopefully.
with them.
We will be.
yeah.
We will be.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, so times of grace for me.
The global panda bear, as it stood, definitely stunted what bands could do with the networking and seeing a live show and stuff. But
Yeah.
it has brought us together with networking and stuff like that. But you have to see us live to really appreciate any live band. So that's what it's done. It's restricted us in many ways. But we're very fortunate that we've got a lot of people that we can reach out to online to help us stay relevant and things like that.
Bands have had to be ingenuitive to come up with new ways of getting around
Yeah,
this
I
problem.
mean,
Absolutely.
Lamb of God, they did a live quarantine session, I think, didn't they?
Well, quite a few did.
Quite a few bands, but to me, Lamb of God stuck out. It was just phenomenal.
The core the monumental thing they did
Yeah.
online, that was fantastic.
Absolutely, and I think it's been all right for us because we've had the luxury, if you like, haven't we?
Of having our own
Of
practice
having
room.
our own practice room.
Absolutely.
I think ultimately it's made a lot of people a lot more aware of what avenues and venues you've got to get your music out there. Because like I say, you've had as we all know, this year's just been purely live streams. I mean, I watched the Architects live stream that they did in London, and although it was amazing seeing what they could do without an audience, to a degree, it would have been amazing to see what they could have done with an audience.
Yeah.
So it's that creative.
Adds that power of vibe having the people
Yeah.
there, the energy.
Of course it
the
does,
crowd,
of course it does.
feeding that back to you.
That as well, and you've got to be a big shout out to Metallica. I mean, they've been doing some crazy live streams, and it's just been amazing. We've been fortunate to get to see an epic band like them online.
Even through the difficult
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Get my
brilliant.
fix.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
to see
get my
that
Metallica
it's
fix, man. All of us.
brilliant to see that live music's still being pushed, even if it can't be in front of an audience. It's
Yeah.
really nice to see the amount of effort what's gone into getting their content out and to keep the fans occupied with that.
Yeah,
I think what's helped as well is made a lot of people realise how important live music is, not just as an industry, but to an individual as well. You don't get the same energy listening to an album than you do live. I mean, the amount of bands that I've seen live, completely Slipknot, for example, Download 2009, I absolutely loved them up to build up. Seeing them live was completely different energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people really
special, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you get
I
caught in
think-
a maggot pit as well.
What it is, like, Metallica said this as well, yeah? When you come and see the band live, that shows the ultimate respect between band and fan.
Yeah.
And that is it. That's with us as well. Like, we like it when people come and see us live because we get to transfer energies together and it's beautiful. So that's where I have it anyway.
But again though, isn't it, from the shows we have done, everybody has said, like we said earlier, that they love the energy we've got because we've shown that although we've been stuck in lockdowns and whatnot, we've all been practicing religiously by ourselves at home, and then when we do get into the band room, it's like nothing ever happened. We straight back into it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like what was said before. It's like we feel very sorry for the bands that haven't been able to rehearse, and we've been able to.
We have had a luxury.
We have, and we are very fortunate.
Take a medicine. No one cares about you.
So around here there's 2, 3 push venues that are playing rock and metal at the moment. So I think we're going to try and go towards like a bit more north of England, going towards Nottingham, heading up towards Yorkshire and go that way.
London,
come down to London, but around our area there's a 10, 15 miles radius. There isn't much happening. You've got Peterborough. Peterborough's got a couple of decent venues, and you've got Man Lizards in Voodoo Lounge. Fantastic venue. Just wish that there was more.
There is quite
Really
a
do
good,
wish
there's
there
quite a
was
good punk scene in Spalding.
There is a good punk scene in Spalding, absolutely,
I
yeah.
got Spiders,
Scumbus.
Scumbus.
Fizz Wallace Band, yeah, they give it a job.
Yeah, get well soon, Fizz.
There's Fizz.
Yeah, she's got Rona, bless her.
Oh, bless her. Oh, yeah, get well soon, Fizz. So, yeah.
But I think that's also the kind of the downside for us, isn't it? Because it's such a big punk scene, there's not a lot of metal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But it could also work better partners.
We could, yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad
Another
thing.
flavour.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not a bad thing because again, you look at the Spalding show. With the Spalding show we did recently, it was Fizz Wallace, it was Spiders, Scumbus, and then we headlined, and everybody loved the build-up.
It was a great combination.
You know, so it's
it
not
was a very
necessarily
diverse gig.
it's not necessarily a disadvantage, but it's kind of again
Yeah.
pro and con. The cons is that it's a lot of punk bands, but the pro is that we can push ourselves out. We're a bit more different.
I'm
to what's going
I'm
on.
quite happy that we're quite local to Nottingham as well, because the metal scene in Nottingham at the
It's
moment is
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
So the fact that we're only 40 miles down the road does kind of help.
Mind you, the metal scene in Essex is pretty good nowadays.
Yeah,
Essex is
true.
great. I mean, we're from Essex, haven't we? So we've played like.
I'm not.
John from Essex.
Let's clarify that right now.
I am the resident Northern.
We played in Nottingham, Old Salutation Inn, and they were really lovely to us as well.
Yeah.
We enjoyed playing with the 500
Amazing.
there.
500, those ones loyal.
Beyond Your Design.
Beyond Your Design, absolutely awesome.
Fanta Black, they were awesome. I
Yeah,
really,
Fanta
really
Black.
enjoyed them as well.
Savage.
Alters, they were on the
Yeah.
kind of well, so they're all were phenomenal bands in their own right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to play there. It's great. Again.
Take it down.
Okay, so the future plans for By My Heartache is we've just trying to basically get as much gigs for next year as we can do. Where at the moment we're taking a little bit of time to write some new material as well, since after the Heart-Shaped Grenades EP drop, and so we've had a Hypnotise video and we've had Whispers lyric video drop as well.
Still pushing the EP at the moment, but we're also writing some new tunes for the new album.
The Whispers video's yet to be released on the YouTube yet, isn't it? So
Yeah, we've got it on Facebook at the moment, so I've still got to chat and still put it on the YouTube at the moment. But that's been dropped. So we've had some good feedback from both of those so far. So
plans for the future.
Dominate the
Gigs,
world.
tours,
yes.
parties,
European tour, world
yes,
tour,
exactly.
domination.
Literally want to take over.
We basically want to play on all the world's biggest stages
Absolutely.
with the ultimate road dogs.
Dream big, get big.
Yeah.
That's what I
That's
think.
what we want.
Primarily it's networking. We just want to network
Absolutely.
as much as we want. Get out there with all kinds of bands, all kinds of festivals, all
Yeah.
kinds of
Mixing
gigs.
And we're ready, you know, we are ready to take that on because of how much time we have spent together and because of how tight we are and because of our chemistry, what we have when we're on stage or when we're in the practice room, we are ready for
Absolutely.
that step. You know, we're mentally and physically prepared, not just as individuals, but as a unit as well.
100% good at putting that myself. And on top of that, basically we're like human beings and we're like just like you guys are. We want to achieve all these things in the future, but at the end of the day, we'll end up in the same size hole. So it's what you do with it.
It's what you do before you get in that hole.
That's the truth, man.
I think the important thing at the end of the day is we need to kind of, as we always say, and anytime we make a social media post, it's you lot, the fans, that push us to do
Absolutely.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Being the best that we are, write the best music we are, and of course we couldn't do any of that. We couldn't have done the EP, we couldn't have done the shows if it hadn't been the fans pushing us, and not only that, each other as well. We've all pushed each other to the limits.
Yeah.
You know, we're all. I mean, Chippy's drums.
We've been buried by my heartache, and thank you so much, Antichrist magazine, for having us on. And hopefully, everybody will check us out soon on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you can't get onto those, look at buriedbymyheartache.co.uk and metal on 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.